I mean, congratulations to Florida. They did a heck of a job coming through the long road back, and we weren't able to put together the type of attack today that I envisioned us bringing to the table. They did a nice job of navigating their way through some jams where we had some runners on base and kept us at bay. And we weren't able to flip the momentum and really turn it back our direction. And that's disappointing, but very proud of the effort and fight from our team. But obviously we're disappointed with the result of today's game. So tough pill to swallow. You know, I'm not a professional wrapping up seasons, because as a head coach, you don't sit there and rehearse this moment in time, but you do have to deal with it. So congratulations to Florida, and we'll work our way through this.
Questions?
Josh, obviously the last 2 days, the offense not producing at what you guys have been used to, I assume is the big takeaway, because it felt like you got what you needed from your pitching staff.
We certainly put together really competitive 18 innings of work. Yes, would like to have been a little better, a lot better with runners in scoring position at certain times. There's no doubt about that. Could have been a different outcome, but it's a two-part deal. Part of it is your ability to execute and maximize opportunities you create, and then the other side's resistance to that moment. And we just didn't quite win those battles. And but you can certainly point to that, and that's definitely something that you look at. But I think in whole, I'm proud of our kids. We fought like crazy. We have since day one, and we just weren't quite as efficient and clutch maybe in a couple of those situations as we like to have been. And that's a tough pill to swallow.
How tough is it, considering this third year you guys have hosted and it just hasn't gone your way at this time of the year?
Well, every team's different, and I think this particular team and our story, last year's team before, each team's different, and each team's path and season and story and tournament experience is a little different. Is that disappointing? Yeah, yeah. But this particular ball club, we fought awfully hard to get to this point and put ourselves in a good position, and we're in a great spot, and that's disappointing. We couldn't finish this part of the journey. It's tough. I don't have a way to finesse through that. We're hurting inside. If the kids took their shirts off right now, you'd see the pain of the reality that something special just ended, and that's a hard thing to put into words. Especially 15 minutes after it happened. So, yeah, of course, I would say that is something that's. But I don't think I think each team, like I said, this particular group of young men and the leaders that emerged from it and the stories that were a part of it, these kids, that can't be the one thing they remember. Is it something that will be talked about? Sure, it's the last chapter of the story, so to speak. But if you go back and just look at how we got here and all the great performances from these kids, I really appreciate them, and I'll remember them for many, many, many more of those moments than I will the final result. But ultimately, the final result is what we're chasing. We're chasing championships, and you gotta keep pushing forward.
Josh, from the mound side, obviously it could have been a little better, but didn't it pretty much go the way you were kind of hoping, and getting to Crayons and having him pitch it out?
I thought the kids competed really well. Tommy gave us another chunk innings like he did last week at the conference championship game, and Evan bridged the gap there in the middle a little bit, and then Robert took it the rest of the way there. So, yeah, I think we woke up this morning and put it together. That was a little bit how the pieces fit, and we put ourselves in position for sure.
You mentioned, that this team won't be defined by just this. There's great stories and other things that happen. How is there a memory that you'll have, or a character trait that you'll sort of carry away from this season about this group?
Yeah, well, I think the number of first-year members of this program that stepped in right away and grew up and really grew inside of this program was so much fun to watch. And the way the returning players embraced the newcomers and the way they meshed and bought into each other and learned to care about each other, and put static and chatter and outside things aside and grew into a real team is something I will always be forever grateful to them for. At a time when building teams and staying focused and being truly united is more challenging than ever. And I will always cherish the fact that it's hard to put into words how much it stings to lose right now because of how much fun and how much value the time is spent together with this group. That is the single most enjoyable thing, is the time together. And it's because they've become such a wonderful group together. And so yes, what will I remember and cherish most? I'll remember the relationships I've watched them form. I'll remember the growth and emergence of numerous young men who came in here that were looking to find something and found it here. And I think you guys know some of those kids are. You've written about them and you know their stories. So I'm very, very appreciative of them for doing things the right way and allowing us to coach them the right way and truly working to be a team.
Josh, looking ahead a little bit, with how long you've been in this spot now, is this time as you start to kind of focus on next year more uncertain than it's ever been just because of everything that happens?
I made a deal with myself that I would focus on these kids and this team and these games, and not get drawn to the transfer portal and all the things that are out there. They'll be there tomorrow. You know, I think one of the biggest challenges and one of the things that I ask them to do, and if you can't do it yourself, then how could you expect them to do? It's just learning how to be present and not miss out on moments in time that you work so hard to put yourself in position to enjoy, and then be distracted and looking onward before you ever actually do what it is you set out to do. So that's been our mission all year. And then what comes behind that is life and moving on and taking on the next challenge, because that's what we do. But that was the deal we made together.
Is that harder to do now than it was before? Not only for coaches, but for players to stay present?
Yeah, I think so. But our kids have been awesome. They've been awesome. I appreciate them, and I just appreciate just the willingness that they've had to, participate in their culture, but also to commit to the one that we tried to build as a team. And I'm not sitting here, criticizing anything that goes on. I'm just saying I appreciate the fact that they were willing to stay with each other and not let not let what lies ahead get in the way of the space that we were in. And, for the adult side of this, it just is what it is. It's college sports are a moving target. Lots of things go on. You just try to enjoy each day, though. And then when you're in a season, that's the most joyous time. Waking up today to come put a uniform on, this was a lot of joy. Having to say goodbye to these kids tomorrow, not so easy.
What was your message to the guys after the game today?
And just that we'll meet tomorrow. I'm not going to open that wound as quickly. Just not to, if you try to comfort them right after the last pitch, and you try to give a season the proper recognition and celebrate the kids for what they deserve, it's just too fast to do it. So we'll meet tomorrow, and we'll talk about our team and what we learned, and I'll thank them, and we'll learn from today, and we'll move forward.